And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda commences tonight's satsang with a Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with Shiva Panchakshara Stotra by Sri Rajneesh.
Nagendraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Mandakini Salil Chandan Charchitaya Nandeshwar Pramathanat Maheshwaraya Mandar Pushpa Bahu Pushpa Supuchitaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Shevaya Gauri Vadnabja Vrunda Suryaya Dakshaya Dharnashikaya Shri Nilakantaya Vrishabhadvajaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya Vasishtha Kumbhot Bhavakatamaya Munindra Devar Chit Shekharaya Chandrarka Vaishwanar Lochanaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya Yaksha Swarupaya Jatadharaya Pinakahastaya Sanatanaya Divyaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya Panchaksharamidam Punyam Yah Pathet Shiva Sannidho Shivalokam Avapnoti Shivena Saha Modate. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is December the 4th, 2020, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Tulsi Ramayana. This is series 2016, class number 231. And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Nilambujasyamala Komalangam Sita Samaropit Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, who is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, and he is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas Ayodhya Kand, and verse number 285 continues. Presently, the context in a storyline, two royal society have come together, one led by Bharata, people from Ayodhya, and another led by King Janaka. And they have all come in Rama ashram. Rama, whose kutir is by the Mandakini river, and who is in the place known as Chitrakoot. How cute. Behind this setting, the topic that is being brought out is the power of devotion, power of divine love. Before I enter into the book, into the Ramayana, let me share an acronym of love. LOVE. L is light, light of lights. So figure out what is the light of lights. Who illumines? What is the source of all your experience? That source is pure consciousness. And that's Rama, the Absolute. Brahman and Rama are same. So, ocean. As long as you are shifting with emotion, you are just floating on the ocean. But when your emotions turn into divine love, you are diving into deep ocean of bliss. It is not ordinary ocean, it's ocean of bliss. V is victory. Once devotion has entered your heart, nothing in the world can take you away from enjoying the highest goal, liberation, union with Rama. But that devotion, you have to understand what it is. It's not ordinary sentiment. And so, with love in your heart, and it love blossoms into divine love, that's the greatest victory in this world. So LOV, victory. You are not dominated by the lower self. You have conquered the lower self. You are not dominated by the Maya, avidya Maya, that creates the illusion of seer, seen, and sight. You are absolutely liberated. And that's that attainment, that you will not come back to the world evermore. Say goodbye to the cycle of birth and death. And that experience has dawned in your heart. Now, celebrate your victory. And E is eternity, forever. So L is light of lights. O ocean of bliss, we victory over the lower self and the dark forces. E for eternity. So that's love. And that love is personified. The embodiment of that love is Bharata, using Bharata as a symbol for that divine love. The story continues. Both societies have come there, but here is what's happening with King Janaka and Devi Sunayana, who is Janaka's wife. Janaka is symbolic of Videha Mukti, which is the goal for every soul. But in this setup of story, Sage Vasishtha views himself younger and Janaka even higher than Sage Vasishtha. But this lower and higher, in order to properly understand, think of ascending steps of enlightenment, 7 steps. So anyone who has secured Jivan Mukta, the 4th step and 5th step, they are like Sage Vasishtha. But one who has secured Padartha Bhavana is Videha Mukta. In other words, this is just like 2 brothers, younger, older. Both are one and the same. The purpose behind all that is, in order for attaining success in ascending the steps of wisdom, the secret lies in bhakti. And Bharata is the illustration of that bhakti movement. Presently, Sunayana and Kaushalya Rama's mother, Sunayana, King Janaka's wife, they are having sharing of their love for Rama. And they are assisting each other, expressing profound love. And Sunayana is, with great respect, tells grieving Kaushalya, Raure anga jogu jagajo ko hai, deep sahayak din kar so hai. Sunayana is saying, Kaushalya, who can really help you? You are like light. Not light ordinary, you are the sun. And who can help the sun? Can you ever imagine sun has lost its mind and doesn't know where to go. And needs your lamp for guidance. Deep सहाय की जिनकर सो है. Does the sun need the assistance of lamps? So that type of glorification for Kaushalya Devi, because she is Rama's mother. श्री राम आज बन करि सुर काजू अचल अवधपुर करिहि राजू. Rama will succeed in his forest, in his dwelling in the forest, Banavas, and having completed his mission, he will rule over Ayodhya, performing the purpose for which he has incarnated, the purpose to let the gods win over demons. Amar Nag Nar Ram Bahubal Sukh Basihahi अपने अपने थल यह सब जाग बलिक करी राखा देवी न होई मुधा मुनि भाखा. And when Rama begins to rule, then all gods, nagas, snakes, and human beings, they all supported by Rama will enjoy living in their own lokas. All this description in a profound way means complete integration in human personality. Gods in you are expressions of the higher self, virtuous qualities. Nagas relate to your enrichment in the realm of samskaras and vasanas. Nagaloka is all the projections of your mind. Mind itself is kind of a big naga, an aspect of cosmic Sheshanag that sustains the whole universe. The Naga movement is subtle contents of your mind, vasanas, samskaras. They will be in right order. And human aspect is your physical plane. Naga aspect is your subtle plane. Devata aspect is your deepest, profounder plane in this particular context. So all the planes, all the three levels of your personality, all the three lokas will be in harmony if you attain enlightenment. An enlightened state is Rama. Rama Rajya is same as being enlightened. This has been already prophesied by Sage Valmiki. That's in a storyline. O Devi, Sunayana says to Kaushalya, this prophecy of the sage will never go void. As kahi pag pariprema pati, siya hita binay sunai, siya sameta siya matu tab, chali suaya supai. Thus saying, Anasuya fell at the feet of Kaushalya Devi, and having received her permission, she took Sita with her. And Sita followed her mother to the dwelling that they had in that forest. प्रिय परिजन ही मिली भय देही, जो ही जोग भांति तेही तेही. Sita Devi met all her near and dear ones in a profound way. तापस बेश जानकी देखी, भासबु सक विकल विषाद विशेषी. All those people who had seen Janaki, Sita, as great princess, now she is in saintly garb, and they all feel a sense of great distress. जनक राम गुर आय सुपाई, चले थलाई सिय देखी आई. King Janaka, having received permission of Sage Vasishtha, went to his dwelling place which is now is it for a short time in Rama's ashram. And there, having gone to his own camp, he saw Sita. लीन हिलाई उर जनक जानकी, पाहुनी पावन प्रेम प्राण की. Janakji was overwhelmed with love, seeing Sita with his daughter in a storyline. And here, from a profound point of view, a sagely heart loves most viveka buddhi, intuitive intellect. So intuitive intellect, Sita is the divine daughter of Videha, of disembodied salvation. लीन हिलाई उर जनक जानकी, पाहुनी पावन प्रेम प्राण की. Janaka, finding Sita with the embodiment of pure love and the support of life, he enfolded Sita in his arms. Ur umageu uambodi anuragu, bhayau bhupa manu manahu prayagu. What type of experience he had? It's a highly poetic description. His heart was filled with love. Ocean of love surged within his heart as he unfolds Sita, his divine daughter. The mind of the king as if became transformed into Prayag, the best of pilgrimage center. And love for Sita appeared like Akshaya Bhat. There is a mystic banyan tree that's imperishable. One side you are being given the picture of Prayag, one of the best pilgrimage center, where three rivers meet, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Prayag is symbolic of awakening Kundalini and allowing Kundalini to lead the soul to enlightenment, to open the Sahasrara chakra. So that type of love entered the heart of the king. Why all this glorification? To show you the importance of Viveka Buddhi. Intuitive intellect enters your heart. Then you don't look for pilgrimage centers. You are in Prayag, in the highest pilgrimage center, if you are joined with Viveka Buddhi, intuitive intellect. And love for Sita became a mystic tree, Akshaya Bhat. And on that tree, Rama shines as a baby embodiment of love, Prem Balak, a baby boy, embodiment of love that relates to certain stories of the Puranas. And the Purana stories, Sage Markandeya at one time had received the blessing of God, who appeared as a baby boy on a big leaf from the banyan tree. Chirajivi muni jnana bikal janu bhurat laheu bala avalambanu. The wisdom of Janaka was like Sage Markandeya. First point, storyline. King Janaka is so overwhelmed as if he has forgotten all his wisdom. Markandeya was blessed with devotion to God. And he was at the same time, according to storyline, he was to live only for a short duration of time. But even at the last stage, death comes to take him away, and Lord Shiva comes to push the death away. So Markandeya was such a loving devotee that Shiva tossed death for him. And therefore Shiva is known as Kaleshwar, the Lord of Kala, Mahakal, Kalasya Kalam, death unto death. So that type of love, as if King Janaka is enfolding in his arms as Sita is being embraced by him. Now, it should not give you the idea that Janaka is overwhelmed by moha. Tulsidas says, moha magana mati nahi videhe. His mati, his understanding is not drowned in moha. But he is overwhelmed by the glory of Sita and Ram, love for Sita and Ram. Remember elsewhere in the Ramayana, Mud Mangalamay Santa Samaju, Jo Jag Jangam Tirath Raju. When Viveka Buddhi becomes the goal, the whole world around you becomes Sant Samaj. You do not have to go to pilgrimage center far away, but the world is filled with divine glory. If you look at the world with that type of sensitivity, and you don't have to look around you, look within your own self, who is the source of the function of your senses, what is the source of your mind, all the complicated functionings of your body. Behind that, who is the reality? That reality is God. Deho Devalayo Prokto. This body is a divine temple. Jivo Deva Sadashiva. And your soul is nothing but Brahman. When you come to that type of understanding, you don't come immediately, but it is a progressive movement. Then you are not constantly keeping your mind distracted. Where can I go to have the best of tirthas, pilgrimage centers? Understand all that you can enjoy and all the merit that you could secure. All this is surpassed when you develop that type of vision of loving God in your heart, Rama in your heart. Siya piya matu saneha bas, bikal na saki sambhari, dharani sutta dhiraj dharayu, samau sudharamu virchari. And Sita Devi also became so overwhelmed by the love of her father. But summoning her internal strength, Sita Devi, the daughter of the earth goddess, held her patience. तापस बेश जनक सिय देखी भयउ प्रेम परितोषु विषेखी. King Janaka, seeing his daughter in the guise of an ascetic, he was full of love and a sense of deep contentment. And he said to Sita Devi, "O daughter, you have purified both societies, society of Janakpur, society of Ayodhya. Your yash, your fame, your glory is illumining this whole universe." Using Sita as symbolic of Viveka Buddhi. This is the praise of Viveka Buddhi. Sanamati. If you have Sanamati, then all the world you are experiencing becomes filled with divine glory. So it is Sanamati that illumines all your world. Jiti sura sari kirati sasitori gamanukin vidhi andakarori. The river of your kirti, glory, surpasses even the glory of Ganga Devi. Because Ganga Devi flows in one Brahmanda, in one universe, while your glory flows through countless Brahmandas. Again, in this context, Ganga Devi is now a channel to Sita Devi. The Ganga Devi, that mode of nature that purifies your mind. But when mind is purified, a divine Ganga enters your mind, that is Sita Devi, Viveka Buddhi. That aspect of Sita Devi surpasses the ritualistic aspect of Ganga Devi. The ritualistic aspect, going to the Ganges and washing away your sins, that has its own merit. But allowing your impurities and illusions to be washed away by Viveka Buddhi, that's profound Ganga. Physical Ganges has sanctified 3 places. Ganga avani thal teen bade re, ehi kiye sadhu samaj ghane re. Physical Ganges has brought about 3 great pilgrimage centers: Hardwar, Prayag, Ganga Sagar. But your glory has created that pilgrimage center which expresses in the form of Sant Samaj, association with saints and sages. When you have Viveka Buddhi or you are loving Viveka Buddhi, you enjoy satsanga. Satsanga is more vital communion with Ganges than anything else. The glory of Santa Samaj. Mud Mangalmay Santa Samaju. Yojag Jangam Tirath Raju. If you want to have real greatest pilgrimage, then come to Santa Samaj, the society of saints. And again, to understand society of saints require your subtle spiritual sensitivity. Otherwise, you can go into big societies and may still remain dull. But even then, no matter whatever your understanding of satsanga, any satsanga is better than kusanga, better than wrong association. But also understand your satsanga it becomes enhanced if it is not limited to a little group of people. You can receive inspiration from countless sources. And that's elaborated in the Gita, Vibhuti Yoga. That whole Vibhuti aspect is an attribute of Sita Devi. Pitukaha satya saneha subani siya sakuchama manahu samani. King Janaka goes on praising Sita, expressing his tender love for her. And Sita, hearing her own praise, she is shrinking with shyness, mystic shyness. Parents enfolded Sita in their arms and communicated with her, giving her some instructions, blessings. Kahati na siya sakuchi man mahi, iha basab rajani bhal nahi. The mind of Sita, she is thinking that she must go back to Kaushalya and Sumitra, to Ayodhya people. But she was not saying it. And Sunanaji, Laki Rukarani Janaye Urayu, Sunayana Devi told King Janaka about Sita's intention. And both of them, King Janaka and Sunayana, they praised Sita's gentle conduct and her graceful nature. बार बार मिली भेंट सिय विदा कीन सनमानी कही समय सिर भरत गति रानी सुवानी सयानी. Again and again they enfolded her with their arms, embraced her, and finally let her depart. And Queen Anasuya, no, not Anasuya, Sunayana, finding proper opportunity, told King Janaka, her husband, about Bharata and how Bharata is eager to take Rama back to Ayodhya. Suni Bhupal Bharata Vyavaharu Sona Sugandha Sudhasa Sisaru Mude Sajal Nayan Pulaketan Sujas Saran Lage Muditaman. Now, adopting this episode, the purpose of the scripture is to bring the glory of devotion. Bharata is bhakti. And when King Janaka hears about that bhakti personality, Son Sugandh, gold is a joyous news. You have got gold. But bring it to the nose, it smells fragrant. Because Sone mein Sugandh. The Viveka Buddhi is that type of attainment. Sudha Sasi Saru, moon showers nectar. Viveka Buddhi is the essence of the nectar that proceeds from the moon. Mude Sakal Sajal Nayana Pulaketan Sujasu Sarahan Lage Muditaman. King, hearing the word, hearing the name Bharata, King Janaka, overwhelmed with love, his eyes filled with tears of love. He closed his eyes as if he was drowned in love for Bharata. Experiencing great thrill in his body, he began to praise Bharata for his divine glory. Savadhan sun sumukhi sulochani Bharata katha bhava bandhana mochani Dharma rajanaya brahma vicharu Iha jatha mati mora pracharu. O Devi, talking to his wife Sunayana, listen, the story of Bharata is the remover of bhavabandha, the bondage of the world process. It is the bestower of dharma and profound humility. And promoter of Brahma Vichar. Bhakti enables you to attain victory of dharma. It endows you with humility. And promotes Brahma Vichar. All that I know of Dharma, Rajaniti and Brahma Vichar, has limit, but glory of Bharata is limitless. सोमति मोरी भरत मही बाही कहे काह चली छुअति न छो छाही विधि गणपति अहिपति शिव सारद कवि कोविद बुध बुद्धि विशारद. My intellect cannot describe the glory of Bharata. Even by adopting deceptive measure. In other words, even indirectly describing the glory of Bharata, that will not be possible. I cannot even touch the shadow of Bharata's glory. Even Brahma, Ganesha, Sheshnag, Lord Shiva, Saraswati Devi, amidst all the scriptural poets, Jnanis, Pandits, and wise men, they cannot fathom the glory of Bharata. In other words, in one word, role of devotion is indescribable. Descriptions will always fall short of the actual experience of bhakti. So you can see here the glory of bhakti in countless ways with wonderful literature. But all that falls short if you have real bhakti. Listening and being satisfied is one thing. Having a real experience that surpasses all that you have listened to. That's what they are trying to explain. Bharat charit ki rati karatuti धर्मशील गुण विमल विभूति समुझत सुनत सुखद सब काहू शुचि सुर सरी रुचि निदर सुधाहू. Bharata's conduct, his glory, his action, his dharma, his righteous dealing, his virtuous qualities, and his pure glory is a source of immense delight in two ways. If you listen to them and try to understand what Bharata means. And the very act of listening and it surpasses the sanctity of Bharata's glory surpasses even the purity of Ganges water. The Ganga is referring to the physical Ganges river. The purity of Bhakti Ganga far surpasses Bhu Ganga, the Ganga that flows on the earth. People do jalapan of Ganga. Ganga is a river, little drops go into the tongue with a great sense of purification. And the sweetness of Ganges water is considered like nectar. But even that sweetness And that purifying aspect of Ganga becomes lesser when you have Bhakti Ganga in your heart. And stay diving in the Ganga. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God over all, and the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Bhakti, try to understand more and more. Even if an ounce of Bhakti is greater than tons and tons of theory and all that you have done for spirituality. May God bless you all. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukumuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Are there any questions tonight?